Long ago, in the peaceful village of Ndalini, the people depended on the rain more than anything else. Without it, their crops would fail, the animals would suffer, and hunger would surely follow, a silent shadow creeping into every home. In this sun-drenched village lived two farmers whose lands sat side by side, separated only by a low stone fence. The first was Kahind, a generous man with a calm voice and an open heart. He was known throughout Ndalini for his kindness. He shared his harvest freely with those who had less, helped his neighbors mend broken fences without being asked, and always greeted everyone he met, from the smallest child to the most revered elder, with genuine respect. His spirit was as nurturing as the rich soil of his farm. The second farmer was Zuberi, a proud and impatient man whose heart seemed as hard as the parched earth in the dry season. He worked tirelessly, his fields a testament to his discipline, but he kept everything he earned for himself. He often scoffed at the poor, ignored the wisdom of the elderly, and truly believed that kindness was a foolish waste of time and energy. His world was built on what he could gain, not what he could give. When the dry season dragged on, stretching far longer than anyone expected, a palpable anxiety settled over Ndalini like a layer of dust. Both men, like all the villagers, grew anxious as they watched the sky for any sign of relief. Kahind, though his own soil was cracked and dry, continued to help others. He shared the last of his stored yams with a family whose stores were empty and spent his afternoons reinforcing the community well, ensuring every drop of water could be drawn. His concern was for the village as a whole. Zuberi, meanwhile, complained loudly every day. He stood at the edge of his fields, arms crossed, and blamed the lazy villagers, the stubborn land, and even the empty sky for his misfortune. One evening, as the sun painted the horizon in shades of orange and purple, the villagers gathered beneath the ancient, sprawling branches of the great baobab tree, a place of counsel and comfort. An elder woman named Makina, her face a map of wisdom and time, raised her voice, and a hush fell over the crowd. "Let us speak to the sky," she said calmly, her voice carrying the weight of generations. "Not with anger, for anger is a deafening noise. Let us speak with questions, for questions seek to understand." That night, as the full moon rested high above the silent village, dark clouds, heavy with promise, slowly began to form where there had been none before. A deep, gentle voice, like the sound of distant thunder but without its threat, echoed across the land. "People of Ndalini, why do you call upon me?" The villagers, filled with a profound awe, bowed their heads toward the heavens. It was the sky, and it was listening. Makina, her posture steady, stepped forward from the crowd. "Great sky," she began, her voice clear and respectful, "we are grateful for your presence, but we do not understand. In our village, some live rightly, with open hands and compassionate hearts. Others live only for themselves, with closed fists and guarded souls. Yet when the rain falls, it falls on all farms equally. Why is this so?" The sky remained silent for a long moment, a quiet pause that held the whole world in its breath. Then, rain began to fall softly at first, a gentle patter on the dry leaves, then steadily, a life-giving downpour that soaked the thirsty earth. The cool water touched Kahind's struggling crops, and they seemed to sigh in relief. The same water touched Zuberi's barren crops, and they too drank deeply. No field, no farm, no single plant was skipped. The blessing was universal. As the rain continued its steady rhythm, the sky spoke again, its voice a comforting presence in the downpour. "Rain is a gift, not a reward." The villagers listened closely, their faces turned upward, feeling the cool drops on their skin. The words settled into their hearts. "I give rain freely to all, so that each heart may reveal its true nature. One farmer will use this gift to feed many, to share his abundance, and to strengthen his community. Another will use it only for himself, to fill his own barn and guard his own wealth. The rain does not decide who is good, the people do, by what they do with the gift." From his field, Zuberi watched the water pooling around the roots of his plants, promising a rich harvest. He then looked over the low stone wall at Kahind, who was already out in the steady rain, helping his elderly neighbors dig small channels to protect their delicate seedlings from the rush of flooding water. For the very first time in his life, Zuberi felt a deep and unsettling pang of something other than pride. It was a feeling he could not name, an emptiness that his soon-to-be full barn could not fill. When the last drop of rain had fallen and the clouds began to part, the sky's gentle voice faded, melting back into the quiet of the night. In the days and weeks that followed, Both farms thrived under the generous sun. The land was green and vibrant, but the village noticed something important, something that went beyond the bounty of the harvest. Kihin's harvest brought joy and celebration to many homes. He shared his yams, his maize, and his greens, and his laughter echoed in the village square. Zaberi's harvest brought him an abundance of food, but it brought him no peace, no joy, and no companionship. He ate alone in his full but silent home. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, Zaberi began to change. He started to greet others in the morning, his voice hesitant but present. He offered a bag of seeds to a young family starting their own garden. One afternoon, he was seen on a neighbor's roof, helping to repair a section that had been damaged by the storm's deluge. And for the first time, as he worked alongside others, his heart felt as full as his barn had ever been. From that day on, the people of Ndalini understood a profound truth. Rain falls on everyone, but it is character that decides the outcome of the blessing. Moral of the story: blessings are given freely. What we do with them reveals who we truly are.